Hello, guys. Welcome to the real version of this podcast. We have been talking in this room for like the last 17 minutes, and we are like, oh, wait, we're not recording yet. So, once again, I'm Brendan, and this is the Christian Music Bros podcast. I'm right here. I'm back with Andrew Ross. Andrew's back again. So, hello, Andrew.
Hey guys.
And today we are with Jaw. I'm going to let Jaw introduce himself right
Yeah,
now.
dude, Jaw. I'm serious. That nickname I've been called so many times, ironically too, because I'm terrified of sharks and hate the movie Jaws. So it just happens to be my initials. But I'm Jonathan Wright, aka Jonathan Allen Wright, being forced to put my middle name into everything, uh, which I'll tell you guys about now because I hinted at it. There was at one point another Jonathan Wright making music on the website Noise Trade. Do you guys remember Noise Trade? You.
Joy Band.
Okay.
I don't know what
Yeah. Noise Trade was like you could give out music and people could leave tips. It was very similar to like a band camp situation. And
Sure.
there was an I first started putting music there, and there was another Jonathan Wright on there, and his album was like really, really dark and had like a noose on the front. And so when I put music up, I had like family messaging me being like, "You all right, man? Like things okay?" And I was so I quickly added my middle name to my artist. So
Yeah,
there, that was that worth the wait, Andrew? I see you laughing. I could tell.
I loved it. That's real. That's super
Yeah,
real.
that is why it ends up sounding like I'm in trouble anytime someone uses my full artist name. It sounds like my mom is upset at me. So
Well, and just for the sake of this podcast, we're going to call him Jonathan. So, when
yeah,
this, or we'll call him Dr. Wright, whatever one.
I prefer Sir actually.
King.
I
Let's be
got
established.
King, my
Um,
liege.
Anyway, thank you for joining this completely random episode of the Christian Music Growth Podcast. We might get segued in here, so if you're watching and you don't really want to watch random people with ADHD and everything, come off the channel right now.
You have found the wrong podcast. Is what
But
happened.
but thank you for joining the podcast today.
Yeah. I'm excited, guys. This is exciting. Anytime I can talk about random things or music or whatever, I will hop on a podcast so fast. So
We're gonna start off nice and easy. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got started in music and what inspired you to make music?
man, that is yeah, I've been playing music for the majority of my life. Like my upbringing, I was a pastor's kid, classic situation. I have two brothers. I'm right in the middle. We all played instruments. Sometimes my dad would go to like speak at a church, and we would be there like singing or whatever. Very classic, like Von Trapp style family situation, you know. Uh, and yeah, we were playing music, but my brothers like kind of started shifting more towards sports. And then I quickly realized how terrible I was at sports. So I was like, what if I just use the instruments that you guys don't want to use anymore? And that was my teen years were basically me messing around with different instruments and learning how to record on the cheapest and most free programs I could find for my Acer laptop. And that was how I started out. And some would say I'm almost still at that point, but that's up for debate.
And with that, you released a couple albums, a couple EPs here and there. Can you tell us about like what inspired you to make those EPs? Do you have like any fun stories off any of those albums or EPs?
Yeah, oh man. So the first album I ever put out, on like Spotify or Apple was called Entries, and it is terrible. It's a terrible album, but I leave it up because of, you kind of look back at stuff and you can hear the things you've learned, but it also is almost like a time capsule. And so that album was the first time I sat down and thought I'm going to write an album, and I'm going to write a song every day, no matter what. And that's what I'm going to do. So I wrote 31 songs in a month and then released 17. And I would say five on that are decent. And
Mhm.
so it is, uh, that one I have a lot of fond memories about, and just kind of figuring out what even I wanted to write or what my sound was or any of that. And it was recorded pretty much exclusively with a like a USB mic that I got for maybe $40, and just throwing it into Audacity and seeing what happened. So I see Andrew just over there. He knows Audacity. Look at him.
Dude, that's where I started recording as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's
What
real.
what was your first microphone, Andrew? What was do you remember it?
I think it was a blue snowball.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Mine was a you ready for this? It was a Guitar Hero World Tour Logitech USB microphone.
What a vibe.
Yeah, I would plug that into my laptop and was like, here we go. So I did upgrade from that, thankfully. So I'm not using it still, but I have it somewhere around here, guys.
Eventually you'll just circle back like how people do with video cameras now. They're like getting back to they're like, let's go
Yeah.
to the like really crappy, get the quality of
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it's very lo-fi of me to keep using this microphone.
You're like,
Almost recorded it here, Brendan, with that microphone. That would have been fun. That would have been a
You
fun
should've done that.
experience. I should have missed opportunity, but
Next-
Next time.
yeah, dude. But other than that, the albums they kind of I think each one of them are very individual, like developing maybe my sound a little bit, or we've already talked about ADHD and how it can make you ping pong from things. And so one minute I'll be like, man, I love 80s synth pop. What if I did an 80s synth pop album? And then this past year, I was like, what if I didn't do that? And I just tried doing singer songwriting ambient stuff. So different interests, different phases of life. And I love kind of going back and hearing them like they're little time capsules of what was going on then, or what I was thinking about. So yeah, it's fun.
We're gonna flash forward now, so bear with me. We're gonna go like forward like 7 years. You just released.
Whoa. Yeah,
No.
I'm hanging on.
7 years. That's a long time. Like we're now before that 7 years we didn't have COVID, but now we have COVID. So
Yeah, it's true.
sorry, COVID joke.
It's
over.
out
I'm sorry.
there.
I'm sorry. COVID.
I'm not leaving this house. It's out there now that you've reminded me.
Anyway, flash forward 7 years ago, you just released a new EP, Stories. Tell us a little bit about that, because it's your latest project to date at the time of this recording.
Yeah, that one it's definitely the longest I've taken to write and record something. I have the tendency to get an idea, get really excited, and then rush it out. Like I'll just get in a hurry. I'm so excited for it to be out and for people to hear it that I maybe didn't take enough time that I should have in the past. And so with this one, I thought, okay, I want to write in a way that I haven't written before. So storytelling. So started selecting kind of different Christian authors or Christian stories that I had heard, or Bible characters, and thinking, okay, how would I tell this story in a song without using their name? So I kind of limited myself to be like, it just has to be the story. I can't give any like very, very direct names or anything like that. Like people need to listen to figure it out. And so took that and started trying to combine it with like the different genres of music that I love, which are alternative music. I also love folk music. I love Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys like crazy. I love the Fleet Foxes. So I start just like taking all of these sounds and being like, how can I blend them into something new for me, new for maybe Christian music in general? Like, how can I combine it all? So that was a year and a half of writing and recording and producing it. And then yeah, got it mixed up by my buddy Spencer Annis, and then dropped it, dude. Yeah, Spencer's great. He's the man.
Me and him have gone back and forth about let me see here. I think we go back and forth. Yeah, me and him have gone back and forth about some things on the podcast. I'm going to try to reaching out to see if he's interested in joining the podcast. So if
Yeah.
you're for the long run and you're not just joining in on this random episode, I'm trying to get Spencer for the podcast. I'm going to reach out to him. Spencer, if you're watching this, I don't know if you watch my channel, but if you're watching this, beware. I'm sending you a message soon. So
I'll give him a warning. I'll be like, hey, look out. These two ADHD guys are coming after you. You're used to me, so you'll be fine. You know,
That's
that's
distracted before then though.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
on the
Spencer's the best, man. He's the best. He would be a good time to talk to. But he's super talented and helped me just kind of refine. I'm definitely more of a producer, I like sitting down and tinkering with things, but then his ear for picking up like harsh frequencies and things like that I just couldn't hear. He's great. So I'm really happy with how the project ended up.
And from there, you also do your own YouTube channel, like
I
content creation.
do. Yeah.
Nothing to do with music. I mean, it does a little bit with music, but like
It's
YouTube channel,
sometimes.
music, sometimes like YouTube. Look at this YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. Like it's all interviews, but I'm doing a fun recording special that's already out there. You can now stream my 100th episode special. It's rock bands you should check out, and it's with the very special Adam Castro. But can you tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel?
Yeah, that was such an accident, but also kind of on purpose. I actually have done video editing, and I'm going to be releasing a video actually talking all the way through kind of the process that brought me through video editing, audio editing, all the way to the point of like quitting my full-time job and just doing all of this for a living. But I started video editing before I ever started doing audio editing. And that really kind of surprises people sometimes because I've done so much more with music at this point. But I did way more video stuff, and then going to youth group, my friends and I, we were making videos and trying to make each other laugh, and then like obsessed with YouTube and how it was and all this. And so after I was on ministry staff as a youth pastor for about 5 years, and when I stopped being on staff, I was like, man, I have all of these like ideas, but I don't know what to do with them, and they're like goofy and they're weird and just strange things that you suddenly have time to think about that you didn't before. And so like a year and a half ago, I called my friend Shama, who does like some content creation online, and I was like, man, I've got this really dumb idea where I'm going to listen to K-Love nonstop for a week and document it and see what happens. And he's like, dude, you've got to film it. Like, that's such a weird idea that it would be a mistake not to. And so I shot it for a week, and then it like blew up in this really strange way. And suddenly, like after one video, I was a monetized YouTube channel. And I was like, oh, well, now what do I do? Like, I suddenly, I don't know what to do with these subscribers. And so I started just having a lot of fun doing weird things that were interesting to me. My favorite, I think I've still done, was I used AI to make a fake worship song, and I released it without telling anybody. And then it got playlisted, and then people were sharing it. And then I found out people were using it in their church with CCLI and all of this stuff. And then I released a video a month and a half later that was like, I tricked all of you. You just weren't paying attention to how bad this song was. So it was fun.
Okay, side note.
Yeah.
This is going to happen. So speaking of YouTube videos and Christian YouTube, have any of you guys ever heard of the Worship Chicken?
Yes. He was like the rage for a while. I felt like he was everywhere.
My inspiration in life.
Your inspiration, your sole inspiration.
And Brandon, who's my former co-host, he knows all about my inspiration. Every time he shares a new video, I drop it in his DM. I was like, watch it now.
Nice.
Released a new one recently. I haven't seen one in like ages.
The last one is like a lot of like chicken abuse, I think, to be honest with you.
Wow. I haven't, I scared to say I don't know that I've seen it here in a minute, but yeah, dude, the world of YouTube and internet is so fun. Like I think like guys like him that have created this weird pocket, and then there are weird pockets everywhere, and it's just like finding one and coasting with it. So that's what I'm doing.
There's one point. It's not gonna happen now, unfortunately. I was working with them trying to get them on the podcast, but then the Worship Chicken kind of went into darkness. But the thing is, they released a full album, and according to this Worship Chicken album, it was updated today, so I'm a little concerned. But
I did see that it was a full album. What a weird time to be alive with the internet, right? Like, it's just
bear with me. And just give me a sec. Where is Zoom? I lost my Zoom screen. Sorry.
He lost us.
Ready for this? For those to be, this is not what we want to see from the Worship Chicken.
Oh, It's like, what is even happening anymore? I love the caption just says we suffer a lot.
Like what the worst thing. This is the last episode they've had. Like the
This is
greatest
the
thing
last thing he did.
This is the best thing on the internet.
Oh man.
That makes sense. He does look traumatized by all of
He
the
does.
things he's seen. Maybe he
Sorry,
can go to therapy.
like I said, this episode's gonna get random. So here we go.
Look, is it really random if we don't talk about the war chicken? Like
But this
that's
is like YouTube gold for like Christian community.
it is. And like I said, I'm talking about the chicken like he's a sentient being. I'm like, he was so great, like the chicken himself had like been filming his shorts and stuff. But no, it's like that's the best part about the internet in general. Like, for example, like the fact that I can make music, but then also like on the side be like, I'm gonna do the most ridiculous YouTube channel, or like that guy could be like, I'm gonna make a chicken that's going to sing worship music perfectly, and there are people that are ready to watch it. That's the craziest thing, and it's amazing. It's also scary, but it's amazing.
And that's one of the goals I have doing this podcast is I'm trying to make content people will enjoy. Some of
Yeah.
it's fun. I'm like right there. We were just watching Worship Chicken on this podcast. And let's check that off the list of things I think I want to do on my podcast, but here we are.
Yeah. You're like, it will make it on there. Yeah, that's the thing, is like there's so much ground to cover. There's never not something to talk about in some way now with the internet. So I'm down. I can follow with it. I can go with the flow. Trust me. I've been on the internet so long that it's probably a problem. So
Yeah, that's real.
Who's older, Jonathan or Google? Have a survey.
say that again. What?
We're gonna have a survey in the chat. Who's older, Jonathan or Google?
Oh, great question. Great question. I'm 1994 over here, so I think I beat Goog. Yeah. How old did you guys think I was? Did you think I was older or younger than this? It won't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 1980s. Like
okay. You thought I had branched over into the 80s. I get it. That's just the rings under my eyes from a newborn daughter for the past couple of months.
I'm just saying 1987 was like my guess, because I'm like the youngest person in my job. Sorry, my coworkers, if you're watching this, I'm calling you all old right here. But like all born in like the 1980s, and like I'm one of the younger people at my job. I mean, we have a couple of people that were born in 2000s. I'm a 99 baby, so
you just barely cut it. You still get to brag about it.
my birth was the reason for Y2K.
Yeah. It was immediately you were born and they were like, I don't know, something's gonna go down. I can feel it.
Exactly.
Andrew, how old are you, sir?
I am from the 80s, so I'm
Whoa.
89. I know. Wow.
Unbelievable.
I literally was born 2 days before we hit the 90s, and I was like, we're just sliding in the very last.
Yeah.
Birthday's December 30th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
For everyone to know my birthday online.
Yes. And could you drop your social real quick?
Like a month. At the time this episode drops, it's going to be his birthday in a couple weeks. Wish Andrew a happy birthday. And
yeah, there we go. Happy birthday, Andrew. Andrew, if this helps you, I think you look younger than me for sure.
Well, also being a dad probably changes a lot, but
yeah.
it's just giving like tree vibes,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You can tell the age of a tree by the rings around. Right. So
that's right. You're right.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
On this episode of the Christian Music World Podcast, Brendan's going to step away to let the adults talk.
Yeah, we're like, it's after dark, Brendan. it's your bedtime.
You got to get out of the pool.
Yeah, it's adult swim. Yeah.
All right, guys. I told you this episode was random for those audience. They're like, this is not like your normal channel stuff. And yeah, I know. Thanks for the reminder.
Look, you signed up for it. When you asked me to be on this podcast, look, if you wanted somebody who's going to be strict and be like, these are the things we talk about, we do not cover these things, I'm not the guy for that. I will derail this so quickly with nobody else's help. You watch.
And this is a fresh take on the podcast too. Like you guys are all just watching interview after interview. This is a fresh, more fun take. So if you want to switch it up for like having a little more fun. Here's the
Yeah.
fun surprise.
This is the fun stuff. We're getting into the fun, and we're not too old to be having fun. Look at me and Andrew. We're still alive and kicking. Brendan, you're bringing the fun, and we're able to keep up, but we will be a little more exhausted after this. I promise.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm like Jacob. I got a little bit of a limp right now, and I'm just kind of lagging behind.
Did you do this? Did you put it up there, or did it just randomly appear? Sorry.
Apple's out here throwing emojis up on our screen, but we're too old to know how to turn them off. That's the problem.
To be honest with you, before this meeting, I was meeting with some other people before this, and for some reason Zoom wasn't working. Then their audio didn't work, and we're like, "What's going on?" So like, I don't know these computers anymore. These computers are way too smart.
They're too smart. It's too smart for their own good. I will say this story really quickly because it's one of my experiences from working sales before working for myself. I one time was on a video call with a potential client, or no, with a client that was needing to cancel a subscription. And I went to tell them, that you have to pay the next 2 months as like a cancellation fee for what I was selling. And when I held up the two like this, people don't realize, but when you hold up a peace sign with the like emotes on your Apple device, a bunch of balloons go up your screen. And so you want to talk about the worst timing on the planet is to look at someone and be like, you have to pay 2 extra months, and then balloons like float up from your screen during it. It was not great, but maybe that's why I quit. We'll see.
Conversation just gave me the inspiration for episode 3 ADHD men.
They know we're doing a new podcast.
Yeah, that's it. This one's out. We found
this
it.
is actually this is the first new episode of the 3 ADHD men podcast. Thank you for tuning
in. And it's the fun fact is we're never going to release new episodes. It'll be like, oh, sorry guys, we forgot to record this week. We were too distracted. That'll be how the
replay of the last episode. Here's just a replay of our latest episode.
It's just reruns. It's just reruns of when we had this idea.
Like in the middle of the episode, they're just coming in a very weird spot. Like we've got to record up to this point, so you're just gonna have to drag along.
Either that, or we'll just all be frantically talking about the one new hobby that we just came up with for ourselves.
What's that for you? Do you have one right now?
Oh, new hobbies. Oh, this is a great question. I have been trying to draw again. I used to draw a lot. And so the other day, how the ADHD brain works, I was just like, what if I went and got like a nicer mechanical pencil? That'll help me draw more. So that's what I did. And I've drawn a little bit more, but lately my hobby has been trying to get my daughter to go to bed on time. That's been the most consuming thing of my life. So it's
like so much fun.
It is, sometimes I will get her to go to sleep and she will fall asleep and I'll just sit in the rocking chair with her. And my wife thinks, oh, Jonathan is like, he must be fighting for his life in there, trying to get her to fall asleep. Meanwhile, I'm playing like the Pokemon trading card game on my phone. She's already asleep. So this is my me time. You see, that's the real secret. Now you're getting the behind the scenes stuff that you didn't know you were going to get.
I want to share this with 2 people, but my new hobby is I've been songwriting and I have 3 songs written.
Do you now?
I haven't done it. I haven't shared them with anyone. I don't know how I feel about them. I don't know who I want to send them to. I need to find someone that would want to read them over. But I've written 3 songs. And right now,
that's exciting.
The category, I'm only going to say the titles. I have one that's it's called Friend, and then the other one is Shadow.
Nice. Dude, that's exciting. But the best pieces of advice I ever got around songwriting were like, just write every song idea that you ever have, because you're gonna have bad songs, but you're also gonna have some really great songs that come out of nowhere, it feels like. So you just have to sit down and do it. So I am sure that it's great. It's great either way because you're getting them out of your head and onto something. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I think too, one thing I would say, you didn't ask for the advice, but
hey, could you give me some advice, Andrew, real quick?
Oh yeah. So so One thing that's really fun too is like even recently I've gone back and pulled old melodies that I never released the song from. Like I didn't love like how it turned out, or I was like, I don't actually feel like this is something I need to release. It's more for me. But then I would pull the melody from or lyrics from certain songs and use them in new stuff. And you get to like upcycle and recycle.
Yeah.
So fun. And so like even just having kind of the bank and like almost like your own personal storehouse to be able to pull from is really cool. So yeah. Also the first song I ever wrote was a blatant knockoff of the song No Diggity, but it was about the return of Jesus. So yeah, super fun. I read Revelation as a child, like instead of doing schoolwork in the middle of school, and my teacher
and you were like, you know what would go perfect with this theme? No diggity. Nice.
It was bonkers.
Anyway, thanks, Jonathan. This is all we have for time because I know.
Hey, we did it, guys! Look at that.
Did it. Like wow. I just know Zoom has like a really strict time limit constraint, and it's
wow. This is
dear Zoom. Please fix this. Love, Brendan. Thank you for hearing But until next time, we'll see you next time on the Christian Music Works podcast. Thank you, Jonathan and Andrew, for joining in today, and we'll see you next time.
Awesome.
Okay, hold up. We're not stopping. There we go. Goodbye, everyone.